So hello everyone, we'll start with examination of respiratory system. This will be the part 1 video of respiratory system examination. Now before coming to the examination, we must know the areas or regions over the thorax. So we have considered two kinds of landmark. First, surface landmark. First is the clavicle. Second is the your breast tissue. Now depending on these two surface markers, we have divided the anterior region over thorax into the supraclavicular part, clavicular part, intraclavicular part, as well as the memory part. Now do note that there is no such area such as inframammary area mentioned in standard textbook of examination. So we have seen that some of the textbooks they do mention inframammary and mammary supramammary, but no such area has been mentioned in the standard textbook. Now, so as far as the anterior region of the thorax is concerned, we have supraclavicular area, clavicular, infraclavicular, and mammary. When it comes to the lateral part, simple. Lateral part has an axillary area and an intra-axillary area. So it is quite simple. Anteriorly, we have supraclavicular, clavicular, infraclavicular, mammary, and laterally we have axillary and infraaxillary. Now, when it comes to the posterior part of thorax, things get a little complicated. Not actually complicated, but the posterior part of the thorax, as far as it is concerned, the surface marker that we use for classifying or dividing the thorax into posterior regions is known as clavicle. So, sorry, scapula. Pardon. So, depending on the position of the scapula, we are dividing that area into something that is above scapula, that is suprascapular. Then the area which lies over the scapula is scapular. Then the area in between is intrascapular, and this area we call it as intrascapular. Okay, clear? So there are anteriorly there are 4 areas, lateral area have 2 areas, and posteriorly we have total of 4 areas. The interscapular area and intrascapular area are kind of shared, but so after knowing the basic areas over the thorax or chest, we'll come down to another important concept, that is the concept of lung fissures. See, the right lung is divided into 3 lobes, superior, middle, and inferior, and the left lobe is divided into 2 lobes, superior and inferior lobe. So what you can see, the common thing between these two lungs or two sides of the lungs is this oblique fissure. It is a common fissure. Okay, so it is present on the right side as well as the left side. So as far as this oblique fissure is concerned, some oblique fissure we call it as the main fissure of lung. Now to give you an idea about how this sorry how this main fissure or oblique fissure runs, we'll make a simple schematic diagram. See, this is the posterior part of the chest that we are looking at. Sorry for my drawing abilities. So this is the trachea and the bifurcation of trachea, that is carina. Now what happens at the D2 level, that is the thoracic second thoracic second vertebra, this oblique fissure it starts to run. It runs along the fifth rib. As it runs along the fifth rib, it crosses the lateral aspect and it comes down anteriorly. So anterior part we can see in this above diagram. So from posterior side, it runs from the second dorsal vertebra along the fifth rib, then it comes anteriorly and it runs along the sixth rib. Okay, so it runs along the sixth rib to meet the sixth costal cartilage anteriorly. Here somewhere. So here is the bifurcation of trachea. It means there will be the angle fluid will be here, and somewhere down here there will be a sixth cartilage. So the main fissure will run like this. Hope you all understand. I'll mark it once more from second dorsal vertebra along fifth rib till the oblique fissure, 6 costal cartilage. Now comes the second fissure. The second fissure, it is present obviously since there are 3 right lobes. So obviously it is present only. See, you can see the course is horizontal. So it is also known as a transverse fissure or horizontal fissure. The course is quite simple. It starts from the fourth costal cartilage anteriorly. So this is the second costal cartilage because there is angle of Lewis. So from the fourth costal cartilage, it runs horizontally until it meets the main fissure in mid-axillary line. So as you can see, if we draw a schematic diagram here as well, it is very clear that this will be your lateral part, this will be mid-axillary line. So from fourth costal cartilage, the transverse fissure, it will run horizontally to meet the main fissure, the oblique fissure in the mid-axillary line. So I think we are quite clear with the two kinds of fissure in the lung. First is the main fissure or oblique fissure. Second is the transverse fissure or horizontal fissure. Now the third part that we'll deal with is another important anatomical part. They ask you in viva sometimes the pleural and lung reflections. That is how the pleura and lung is reflected surface anatomically wise. So it is quite clear. Now you can see that the pleura, they are basically a sac-like structure in which lungs are placed, and lungs are kind of floating in between the two layers of the pleura. Now what we can see clearly is that these pleural reflections, they are going deep down and forming two kinds of diseases, that is costo-mediastinal and costo-diaphragmatic. We have all learned this in anatomy. So their corresponding surface anatomy, if we look, we'll consider 3 lines, and depending on those 3 lines, we'll be able to mark them. First will be the mid-clavicular, then will be the mid-axillary, and the third line will be the scapular line. So as far as the pleura goes, the pleura, it covers the lung anteriorly, then it descends along the midline. I'm talking about the right side. Then it descends along the along the midline. Then it goes laterally. And now laterally how it goes is at the level of mid-clavicular line. So this is the mid-clavicular line. It lies roughly at the level of 8th rib. When it goes more laterally, when it comes to mid-axillary line, as you can see, when it comes to mid-axillary line, it goes a little up. So it actually does not go up, it goes down. So it lies at the level of 10th rib. And when it goes to scapula, the recess is a little deep, so the scapular level is at 12th level. So this is as far as the pleura is concerned. So the pleura is reflected. How it reflects? It marks the lungs anteriorly, then descends down along the midline, then it goes laterally. And while it's going laterally, at the level of mid clavicular line, it is at the level of 8th rib, mid axillary line 10th rib, and at the scapular level, it is at the 12th. Now, as far as lungs are concerned, we know that pleuras are just lining the lungs. So basically, where there is pleura, there is underlying lung. So how much is the difference between these two? So how much is the margin for this costo-diaphragmatic and costo-mediastinal diseases? So that is roughly 2 ribs. So it will be very simple. The lungs will come right right down the midline, covering the anterior part of the lungs. Then it will go laterally. However, the lungs, the lower margin of lungs at mid-clavicular line, it will lie at the level of 6th rib. Okay, at mid-axillary 8th rib, and at the scapular level 10th rib. So it is quite simple that 2 ribs down, 2 ribs up rather, 2 ribs up, the lungs will lie, and 2 ribs down, the pleura will lie. So a little different thing happens on the left side. On the left side, what happens is the lung is covered by the pleura inferiorly. The pleura runs down the lung on the medial side, and then at the level of fourth costal cartilage, you can see at the level of fourth cartilage, it takes a sharp turn and it leaves some part of the lung, it leaves some part of the mediastinum uncovered by the lung as well as by the pleura. So what happens in that is your heart is placed inside this. So this area, if we percuss, this area is known as cardiac dullness, area of cardiac dullness. So the other markings of pleura and lung are absolutely same. That is the pleura 8, 10, 12 and lungs 6, 8, 10. But this on the left side, the anterior border of the pleura, it takes a sharp turn laterally at the level of fourth. Okay, so I think we are done with these three concepts. That is first the areas of the thorax, then your fissure of the lungs, and the pleural and lung reflection. So we'll see you in the next part. Thank you.